Hello and welcome to ExcelChamp's Mastering Pivot Tables using Excel to analyze the data quickly for better business decisions. I am your coach Vinai Prakash. In this session, we are going to look at how to filter the data quickly. We will use the filter icons, how to select and clear the items from a filter, how to use filtering on a text field, how to use filtering on a date or a time field. Let's begin. To begin this session, we want to work with the sorting and filtering pivot data Excel file. So let's fire it up. This is the same data that we had used during the sorting exercise. Now I want you to straight away go to sheet 3 where the pivot table has already been created for you. Once you click inside, you can see that this pivot table is getting quite large and out of hand. There is a huge amount of data and we need to scroll to be able to see the entire data because it is showing by date. If you want to see the organization of this pivot table, it's pretty easy. We go to the options and click on the field list. So we can see that it shows you the category by item and by date. We also have the customer number showing up in the report filter. The numbers are actually the sum of the total value. So to simplify the pivot table report, we can filter the pivot data so that the table only shows the data that we want to see without being cluttered with all the detail. So let's see how to get started. Right now, we are going to click on the category field on cell A4. Now, if you notice, there is a small drop down here. When we click on this drop down, automatically it shows us the sorting options A to Z, Z to A. But we are not here to sort. Rather, we want to see the bottom portion where we can filter the data in different ways. So maybe we only want to select the data, let's say for accessories and sleeping bags. So we can remove the select all. Now nothing is selected. If we want everything, select all. So we only want accessories and we only want sleeping bags. When we click OK, the data is now filtered. We are showing only accessories below this and sleeping bags below this. So as you can see, the data has been filtered pretty quickly and we can now only focus on the information that we were looking for. Once we are done, we can click back and click on select all, or we can click on clear filter from category. When we do that, the filter is now gone and everything is being shown. How will you know whether there is a filter on or not? Let's see, right now it's showing a triangular arrow going down. But when we choose only a couple of items and click OK, the icon changes to show you a sieve, like a funnel, showing you that the data has now been filtered. So let's remove the filter, select all, or we can say clear the category. Now I'm going to show you the next method. For example, we only are interested in all kinds of bags. The problem? Bags are all over the place. We have some bags under sleeping bags, but we also have some accessories containing bags. So if I'm only looking for bags, I can't choose them here. As you can see, it is showing all the bags and I will have to select each one, which could be time consuming. So I'll have to click and say camp bag and then double bag, click OK, then only I can see this. There is a much better way of looking at these bags. So what we will do is, let me remove the filter. I'll say clear filter from item. Instead, what we will do is, we will click here and say label filters. That means we can filter the data by the label or the category. So we choose label filters, move the mouse to the new drop down and we pick up contains. We get a new pop-up and say only show items where the label contains the word bag. So I will key in bag. Click OK and voila. We are now looking at all kinds of bags, whether they come from accessories or from sleeping bags. How long did it take? Just a couple clicks. So this is a great method. Now some things you can do easily. You can when we click on the label filters, you have to choose the right field. Here the data is by category and by item. So when we choose the item, we can clear filters from the item. Again, let's go back in label filters, contains, and if let's say I want all kinds of bags, it doesn't matter what says in the beginning. So you can use the star or the question mark. Star for multiple characters and question mark for a single character. So let's say if I only want all the products that begin with the letter capital D. So what we can do is we can choose item from here, select field item, and I'll set a label filter to say begins with, and I can say D. Click OK. And now we are looking at all the products beginning with the capital letter D. So this is another way for you to filter the data. Once you're done, you can say clear filter, and anytime you want the filter back, you will have to apply the label filter, and you can still say contains, and we can say star, anything that come in the beginning, but at the end I want a bag, anything bag. And now we are looking at all the bags. So these are different ways to filter text data, the labels on the left hand side. Now let's see how to filter a date or a time field. So we are going to clear this filter away. I'm going to say clear filters, and let's say we click on a column B3, which is a date, and if you click down, you will see sort oldest to newest, newest to oldest, and then there are date filters. So I could click on date filters and say I only want to see that data that belongs to last month, and I will get only the data that belongs to the last month. Similarly, I could say clear filters from date, or I could say select only the data that is between two particular dates. I can choose a date. Let's say I want to pick up the data from the 1st of February to the 31st of March 2014, and I click OK. So I'm looking at only the data from Feb and March, and we won't see any April data. As you can see, it ends at 31st of March. Again, whenever we are done, we can now clear the filters. You can just say clear filters from date. Now there is one pretty nifty feature. We can filter the entire pivot table through the report filter area. If you notice here, we have a report filter on the customer number. So this entire data is for all the customers. But if I want to pick the data only for a particular customer, so what I can do is we can click on the customer number, and let's say I'm only interested in customer number 198. Click OK, and now the data is filtered. All the products, all the dates only showing for customer number 198. I can choose multiple items as well. But here it looks like you can only choose one. Well, if you check the checkbox, select multiple items, we will now get a checkbox and we could choose multiple items. Click OK. And now we are looking at all the data filtered only for the 3 values. The only drawback, you can't see the values that are selected. Since we have chosen multiple fields, it will say multiple items. Alright, so you need to click for you to be able to see what is the different columns or fields or values you have selected. So what I want you to do now is to open the Excel exercise file, sorting and filtering pivot data, and practice by filtering by dates, by text, and in different methods and ways. Make yourself comfortable in using the sorting and filtering. Now, if we wanted to find out what is the data for each customer, but we don't want to do it one at a time because we could be having a number of customers. So this can be quite time consuming. Fortunately, we have a very simple shortcut available to us. All you need to do is to go to the pivot table options, and then if you will notice at the beginning it says pivot table name, pivot table 2, and then under this there is another options button. So don't click on it, click on the arrow that goes down here under options, and you will notice the second button, it says show report filter pages. So before we click, I want to bring your attention to the fact that we have 3 sheets available in this workbook right now: sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. Now you notice what will happen when I click on the show report filter pages. I click on it. There's a new pop-up which says show all report filter pages of the customer number. I wouldn't make any change, just simply click OK. As soon as you do that, Excel has now created 3 different worksheets called 179 for the customer number 179, 198 for customer number 198, and 223 for customer number 223. These were the 3 customers which we had selected on sheet number 3. You can see 179, 198, and 223. So this way we had selected 3 items. We couldn't see individually on the first sheet, but when we created report filter pages by clicking here, we got 3 separate brand new worksheets where we can see individual data filtered for a single customer. This is an excellent way to see all the data without having to click each customer or each report filter individually. So I hope you learned something new and will benefit from the sorting and filtering video lesson. Now, if you have completed all the lessons up to now, it will be a good idea to do a mini challenge question. So in the next session, you can see the steps that are required for you to do. I wouldn't be doing this. You need to do it on your own. Let's see if you can do it on your own. All the best.